I had Lalah Hathaway in here. She does this incredible. I'm sure you know who Lalah Hathaway is.
Just,
Lalah Hathaway.
Hathaway.
Right, you heard her before. She has this thing she does with her voice where she hits like 3 different notes at one time.
The chord polyphonic.
So there's a name for that?
I mean, I don't know if that's the name for it, but I guess polyphonic, being able to make multiple notes or chords with, your voice, which is crazy. It sounds
like, but your voice sounds like that's something you could do. Do you have that talent, that skill?
I don't. It actually baffles me. I don't know. I don't know how that works. I mean, it's it's kind of crazy, but it's an amazing thing to watch. If she can teach me, Lalah.
Lalah, if you're out there, holla at us, Lalah, holla at us. You've got a new single out. It's called Second to None.
Yes.
And we've been banging it.
I appreciate that.
It's another one that I love.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah. And okay, so I'm feeling all of your nice ballads, but when you gonna break out of that shell and pop a funky one on us, Daly?
Well, I mean, there was a really funky one on this album, The Spectrum, the one that I'm kind of just at the tail end of right now, called Sympathy, which you might. It didn't kind of get released as a single, but you should definitely check it out if you want to hear a little funk or a little.
Okay, I definitely want to check it out. Yeah. It's your second album,
yes,
The Spectrum.
Yeah.
And what can you say about The Spectrum? What does that mean? Like a spectrum of voices, a spectrum of ideas, a spectrum of music? What does that mean?
Well, it was something that kind of it was a word that kept appearing to me throughout the process of making the album. And I kind of, when things like that happen, I usually write them down. I have like a little notepad or something that I just write down words or things that I feel like could become something, like words, phrases, song titles. And I just kind of had it with a pin just there. And then I carried on writing the album, and I started making this album, I think I had a bit of pressure and a bit of an expectation of what I thought it was supposed to be like, trying to fit in with a certain kind of sound or a certain kind of trend of a sound. And I think I started off making the album in that mindset, but as I went on, I was like, it's not what's the word? Satisfying me. I felt like I was leaving out so much of what I wanted to do, and different types of different feelings, different emotions, different sounds. So at one point in the process, I was like, you know what? I just have to do whatever feels right to do. So I kind of just broke out and didn't deny myself any part of the musical spectrum that I wanted to create with the album. Right. So that was when the word, I was like, that's it. That's the word. It's spectrum. The spectrum, and it means a lot of things, and I think it filters into a lot of areas of life, and the idea of just in general to not put things in boxes, because that you limit yourself if you do that. So that was kind of what the spectrum is.
Absolutely. So if you're just tuning in, I'm talking to Daly. The new album is The Spectrum, and the single we're playing is Second to None. I'm going to play it in a minute. I don't mean to get too controversial, but Tyrese has come into the station a lot. He comes in because he has a lot to say.
Right. And
one thing that he talks about frequently is how black artists have songs that could potentially be crossover songs that white or mainstream radio won't play.
Yeah.
And he oftentimes mentions Sam Smith, and how, mainstream radio will play Sam Smith but won't play a Tyrese song or a Tank song. And so I wonder what your experience is with that, being white doing R&B or soul music. Does mainstream radio show you love, Daly?
I mean, honestly, I would think I would be naive to say that there's no influence of that within the music industry or within America. There's always unfortunately, a hint of it. But I would say, I'm not Sam Smith, and I haven't ascended
to
his heights. Yeah. So I can't say personally that I've experienced that thing of like, I'm white and they're playing my music everywhere, because I feel like I'm kind of in the, I'm putting the work in and doing things the way that I would like to do it, which is the not that Sam Smith's not genuine, but I just mean I'm doing it what's the word?
Your way.
The grassroots way. Yeah, my way. So
the Frank Sinatra, you're doing it your way.
Right. And, and I'm in, I guess you might want to call it, in the trenches with all my contemporaries who definitely, many of them are African American. And I would like to feel that I'm in I'm in the trenches with the artists, with the R&B artists, and being an R&B artist myself. So I do think it would be naive to say that there's absolutely no kind of what's the word, like novelty value in me being a white artist singing R&B. I've definitely experienced people, like even like you were saying, when they hear the song and then they're like, that's a white guy, you know. There is an element of that, but I just try and keep it focused on the music, and I'm just trying to keep, be genuine and true to the music and do it in the right way. So,
but do they play Alone Together, Second to None? Do they play that on mainstream radio? Are you getting mainstream spins?
Not that I know of. Not that I know of. You guys are the ones who are supporting, and
we're showing you love because we're radio free.
Yeah, and I truly, truly appreciate it. And the same when you come to my shows. It's not a quote unquote mainstream audience. I mean.
It's an eclectic group of people.
Well, it's eclectic, but also, there's no doubt that, black audiences in America and all around the world, in the UK and Europe, have always been the audiences that have kind of taken my music to heart and been the foundation of my fan base. So I definitely appreciate, and I'm very, very honored not being from here, to have that connection with people.
Do you feel like people outside of the States have more of a respect for music than the United States? I feel like when artists who are really deep into their craft go abroad, they get major love. But it's so difficult in America to get that same thing if you're not, quote, commercial, whatever that means.
Yeah, it's...
But you're from the UK, so you know what the audience reaction is to music in general.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys have a different love for music, a different affection towards music. Is that true? Or
I don't know if I would say music in general. I mean, if you want to maybe specifically talk about kind of R&B and soul, it's kind of like everything has its pros and cons, because the thing I love about America is America knows soul music. America knows R&B. It's the birthplace of R&B and soul. So when I come and perform here, I do feel that with the audiences. I feel that they get me, in a way that in Europe there isn't the same thing. But in Europe there's a different thing where it's kind of hard to describe, but they do, like, in Europe, American soul artists are very, very highly regarded, whereas British soul artists always necessarily aren't. So a lot of like British soul R&B artists don't get in the UK, don't get as much love. Like for me, personally, I found a lot of my audience over here in the States. So I spend a lot of time here now, and I guess I wouldn't want to say that the UK, doesn't support, but there's more support here for me for sure. And so I think there's also an element of like wherever you're not from, that's where they that's where they appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an element of that.
I go home to Houston and nobody gives a damn.
Right.
I come to LA and they're like, hey, Tammy.
Yeah, so I don't know what that's about, but I think it's definitely the different parts of the world have different appreciations for the same music, and there's no science to it really. I think it's all to do with the journey that you've taken as an artist, how much, how much of a role the record label had, how much of a role how exposed you've been, all that kind of stuff. So,
all right. Well, we're going to continue to talk to Daly because he's got the new sophomore album out, The Spectrum, and the song is Second to None. We're playing it, and a few of you have requested it. We just started playing it about a couple of weeks ago, I would say.
Amazing.
So people are calling about it, but
okay.
I got to let them know who it is and that it's hot, and then they're like, oh yeah, I heard it this time, Tammy Mac. So we're going to come back, play Second.
So that was part one of the interview with Daly, and he heralds from the city of Manchester here in England. One of our great vocalists, and I still to this day do not know how he's not made a bigger noise in the US of A or around the world. Just as good as Adele, just as good as Amy Winehouse, in my opinion, better. And doesn't seem to get the props. But anyway, he was being interviewed there by presenter Tammy Mac, and she's part of the Radio Free TV network, which is based in Inglewood in California. They did the interview, and one nice interview is that. More coming next week.
Boy, oh boy. For the first time in our lives, we're a success. A nice little fish business and making money.
You know, Ollie, I've been thinking.
What about?
I know how we could make a lot more money.
How?
Well, if we caught our own fish, we wouldn't have to pay for it. Then whoever we sold it to, it would be clear profit.
Tell me that again.
Well, if you caught a fish, and whoever you sold it to, they wouldn't have to pay for it. Then the profits would go to the fish. If you caught...
I know exactly what you mean. Your idea is to eliminate the middleman.
The Electric Soul Show is geared to music lovers and the streets of Ipswich to the whole wide world. And if you're an artist that loves the show and you believe you've got a product, i.e. an album or an EP that you're looking to push and reach the audience that is the Electric Soul Show, give me an email, which is this, djmystery40@gmail via this website. This is the website, obviously, www.electricsoulshow.com.
Mic check. Cop a lot, but never cop no drop. Hold mics like ponytails tight and bobble ops. Stop, stick around, come through and dig the sound of the fly brown 6060 cycle. Who throws a dick around? Bound to go 3 plat. Came to destroy rap. It's an intricate plot of a b-boy strap. Fem stack cats get kidnapped. Then release a statement to the press. Let the rest know who did that. Metal fist terrorists claim responsibility. Broken household name usually set in hostility. What is MF, you silly? I like to take men's to the end for 2 milli. Do-do-do-do-do, that's an audio daily double. Rappers need to fall off just to save me the trouble. Yo, watch your own back, him in and go out alone, black. Stay in the zone, turn H2O to cognac. On doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back where my brother went, that's what my tumor say. Right above my government Dumoulin, either unmarked or engraved, hey, who's to say? I wrote this one in BCDC O section. If you don't believe me, go get bagged and checked then. Cell number 17, I'm under the top bunk. I say this not to be mean, was bad luck a pop junk. Pop the trunk on C-Cypher punk, leave him left scrape, God forbid. If ain't no escape, blame MF tape. Definition super villain, a killer who loved children, one who is well skilled in destruction as well as building. While Sidney Sheldon teaches the trife to be trifer, I'm trading science fiction with my man alive lifer. A pie piper, holler a rhyme, $1 and a dime, do his thing, ring around the white collar crime. Get out my face, asking about my case, need toothpaste. Professor Mint, monkey style nigga to death to death. And dope fiends still in their teens. Shook niggas turn witness. Real men's mind their own business. That's the difference between sissy pissy rappers is double dutch. How come I hold a microphone double clutch? COs make rounds, never have ox found on shakedown, lockdown, wet dreams of Fox Brown. On doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back where my brother went. That's what my tumor say. Right above my government Dumoulin, either unmarked or engraved, hey, who's to say? Doomsday, ever since the womb till I'm back to the essence, read it off the tomb. Either engraved or unmarked grave, who's to say? Pass the mic like Pastor P's like they used to say. Some MFers don't like how Sally walk. I tell y'all fools is hella cool, how ladies from Cali talk. Never let it interfere with the Yeti ghetto slang. Nicknames off nipple and tip of nipples metal fang. Known amongst hoes for the bang bang. Known amongst foes for flow without no talking orangutans. Only gin and tang, guzzle out a rusty tin can. Me and this mic is like yin and yang. Clang, crime don't pay. Listen you, it's like me holding up the line at the kissing booth. I took her back to the truck, she was uncool. Spitting all out the sunroof, through her missing tooth. But then she has a sexy voice, sound like Jazzy Joyce. So I turned it up faster than a speeding knife. Strong enough to please a wife. Able to drop today's math in the 48 keys of life. Cut the crap for his rap. Touch the mic and get the same thing an A-Rab would do to you for stealing. What the devil, he's on another level. It's a word, no a name. MF, the super villain. instead.